Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon us all. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, greetings of virtue. Good morning everyone. The Honorable English Lecturer, Mrs. Fadilah, and all friends who are listening to this speech. First of all, I would like to thank God, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has been giving us blessings and mercies so that we can listen to this speech in a good condition. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nazwa Putri Kirana. I am Bina Sarana Informatika University student. I'm from Accounting Study Program with name 63240301. Well, now I'm here to give a speech that I think is very important and relevant for all of us, namely about changing bad habits as a step to becoming a better person. Ladies and gentlemen, humans are creatures of habit. What we do repeatedly each day ultimately shapes who we are. Good habits build strong and positive character. On the other hand, bad habits, though they may seem trivial, if left unchecked, can become obstacles in our journey to success and even sabotage the future we aspire to. Bad habits come in many forms: procrastinating tasks, lack of time discipline, unwillingness to learn new things, being overly pessimistic, or frequently comparing ourselves to others without making real efforts to improve. In the context of both the professional and educational world, these bad habits can be very damaging not only to ourselves but also to those around us. However, changing bad habits is not easy. It requires honest self-awareness, strong commitment, and the willingness to go through a process. There is no such thing as instant transformation. Therefore, here are several concrete steps we can take in order to start changing bad habits. First, self-reflection. Recognize and admit the bad habits we have. Without honesty with ourselves, change will never happen. Second, set clear goals. What do we want to achieve by changing those habits? A clear goal will provide strong motivation. Third, start small. Focus on changing just one habit at a time. One focused change is more effective than trying to change everything at once. Fourth, supportive environment. Surround ourselves with people who bring positive energy and support our personal growth. Fifth, monitor progress. Regularly evaluate ourselves, appreciate even the smallest improvements as part of the growth process. Ladies and gentlemen, changing bad habits is not just about becoming a better person ourselves, but also about contributing more meaningful to our society, our nation, and our world. Imagine if each individual in our environment commit to improving their own bad habits. Surely we would see a truly positive and powerful social transformation. Let us be part of the change. Let us start with ourselves, with small steps, and begin today. Because great change always begins with consistent small action. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a little bit about changing bad habits from my perspective as a student. That concludes my remarks on this occasion. I certainly hope what I have shared today brings benefit and inspiration to us all. If there are any mistake, either in my speech or my gesture in delivering this speech. I apologize profusely. Thank you for your kind attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace and blessings be upon us all. Okay, next, I will present a basic English subject, namely modal verbs. Let's get to start. What are modal verbs? Friends, of course, are familiar with verbs. Example vary, such as run, eat, play, go, speak, and so on. However, there are other words that usually follow verbs, such as can, will, must, should, or what we usually know as modal verbs. These modal verbs are used to express permission, request, willingness, ability, possibility, or capability to do something. For example here, from the modal verb example above, namely, I can buy myself flowers. That word can shows an ability where I can buy flowers for myself. Friends, we also have to remember that in one sentence, there can only be one modal verbs. Okay? So, you can say, I can buy myself flowers. Remember, there can only be one modal verb. Okay? Next, types of modal verbs. Well, now we know the concept of modal verbs. Now, let's find out what the types are and also the example below. First, will. Will and would are usually used to express intention or willingness, plans, predictions of the future or the past, probabilities, asking requests, promise, and also over. Here, example of modal verbs using the words will or would. Second, shall. This is type of modal verb which is included in the modal present and is formal in nature. However, shall only applies if the subject is first person, like I and we. Shall is generally used to express advice, obligation, need, or duty. Let's take a look at some example of its use. Third, can. In modal verbs, can is generally used to express ability or positivity, or it is not uncommon for can to be used for commands, permissions, or requests. Here are some examples. Fourth, may. Use the word may in modal verbs if they want to express possibilities, ask for or give permission, and also events that generally occur. The example of modal sentence are as follow. Fifth, must. Have you ever read or heard the words have to or has to? Both words can have the same meaning with the modal verb must. Well, this one example of modal verbs of obligation, that is must, can be used by friends when expressing a necessity or an interest in doing something. If followed by not, then it will be a prohibition. Come on, let's just look at the example. 6. Should. Use the modal verb should to express obligation, requirements, expectation, needs, or to give advice. Example are follows. Next, modal verbs formula. Well, in modal verbs, there are also formulas that you must remember. But don't worry, because the formula are easy. There are formula for positive, negative, and interrogative sentence or question word. For more detail, see the following formula. First, positive sentence. Remember, in positive sentence, that use of modal verb is followed by verb 1 and cannot be added with other particle. Well, the formula of our positive sentence is follow subject plus modal verb plus verb 1. Next, negative sentence. If the sentence is negative, just add the word not after the modal verbs. After that, add verb 1. With the following formula, subject plus modal verb plus not plus verb 1. Third, interrogative sentence. For interrogative sentence or question, the modal verbs must be placed in front. Then follow it with the subject and verb 1. For more details, here is the formula. Modal verb plus subject plus verb 1. That's it. To make it easier to understand what modal verbs are like, let's take a look together at example of modal auxiliary sentence. Take a look what example are like below. Well, that's complete review of modal verbs, types, formulas, and also example with the explanation and examples given. Surely now we know each other their use.